He's not the most famous one, nor the best speaker. You know how he talks? He just like this. Touch on his wedding ring, walk careful, look at the sky for inspiration, and look at the stars. There's nothing special about him. Right? Now, rock star. He's the same guy, same style, walking by and forth, and people will line up for blocks, and some people paying $1,000 to get in. What happened? Lucky guy, eh? Okay. He become rock star because this transgender pronoun. He made a big deal of that. He said, I will not use the term even I have to go to jail. Wow, a real hero. Hear him debating with all the transgender people. He debate them all. Real courageous. He debate everybody. The more people attack him, the more famous he gets. It's a strange world. When he makes outrageous statements, attack people. Wow, he's a culture warrior. That's a funny world, okay? You know, like me, okay? Nicely, nobody pay attention. Attacking people. Wow, power attacking people. Maybe I should start attacking people. Well, this is a funny world. But anyway, well, he could pay a price. Now he's considered as the most dangerous professor. Most famous, most dangerous. Okay? Look at that. Like this. Lobster cup. I couldn't figure out. You know, I scratched my head. I said, why so many young people, so males, support him enthusiastically? If you criticize Peterson, they're going to attack you. Be careful, okay? They're going to attack you. Not, you be careful, okay? So I keep here wondering why those guys love me so much. So here's my hunch, okay? I might be wrong, okay? That so many people grew up without a father, right? And so many people grew up without a male model. On television, the guys are either violent or stupid idiots, right? They're either violent or stupid idiots. So here comes Jordan Peterson. No, he's learned, well-educated, articulate, and talk with authenticity, with passion. Something else, my hunch. After the sexual revolution, do you remember the sexual revolution in the 60s? Were you born yet? Free, hey, birth control pill. Oh, we have free sex, right? Enough for free sex. And secularization, materialism, and the Christian value become diminished. So a whole group of young people grew up confused, lost, no direction, no value. Here comes the guy say, you better sort yourself out. You better improve yourself, bucko. You better shape up, grow up. They pay attention to listen. Nobody ever talks to them like that. And here, guy, you better grow up. This is a tough world. This is a world full of evil, injustice, suffering. So he's he was able to make suffering sexy. You know that? Open a book, life suffering, suffering. That only true is suffering. He sold over 1 million copies in 1 month. It takes a genius to make suffering sexy. I can't make it. I can't do it. There's his story. The objective. Don't attack him. The more attack him, the more famous he gets. Okay? Please don't attack him. Okay? Secondly, we want to look at psychology behind the persona of cultural warrior. So I don't want to talk about politics. Okay? I talk about psychology. Okay? The politics, roll up, and so I talk about psychology. And I think that he had 2 major contributions. One contribution is that he able to integrate faith with science. Okay? And my friend, and he's expert in this area, he will talk about that. So I will talk about the 12 rules to see whether they help for you. So you decide for yourself, okay? Is he a dangerous fellow, or is something you can learn from him? Okay? Gordon, it's all yours.
Thank you. He's had a tremendous impact, and he's caught the imagination of the younger generation. I work with university students at UBC, and he is all the rage there. So I'm going to spend a few minutes on trying to decode Jordan Peterson, looking particularly at the whole area of moral agency, and I'm bringing him in dialogue with Charles Taylor, one of our famous philosophers in Canada. So what is the attraction? Paul began to talk about this, but I think there's several features of Jordan Peterson that makes him attractive to this generation. One of the things is the disenchantment that comes from scientific humanism, or what might be called exclusive or secular humanism. A cold universe, indifferent to my pain and suffering. Why am I here anyway? Secondly, people are they really are searching for psychological relational insight. They're struggling, they need help. He's offering help, and they're listening to him. Thirdly, Peterson is willing to wrestle with these big questions, these big existential questions. He's willing to talk about politics. He's willing to talk about religion and science, faith, and various academic issues. And I think also he is into some of the great books of Western civilization, and that is one of the reasons people are attracted to him, because they're out of touch with that canon of great books. Then there is they are listening to his call. He's actually calling young people, calling people in their 20s, millennials, into a kind of soul care. So that's what we were talking about a lot of this conference, and it's very helpful in that way. He promises that mature meaning can come through suffering, through the crucible of suffering. I think that's an important message for today's youth. He's practical in suggesting how they can begin to fix their life. So he's giving very practical advice, how to get started, how to set goals. And his self-authoring suite has actually been quite powerful in transforming many lives. Apparently, there's been a 20% lower dropout rate from university as a result of his work in this area. Peterson resonates with the anatheism generation. You probably don't know about that, but Richard Kearney at Boston College talks about this being the age of finding God after God. The interest in religion, the openness to epiphany after the death of God. And then I'll just say the final thing is his challenge to recognize and reckon with the order of being. So that's where he captures people from a broad spectrum, a broad background. He's not forcing them into any particular worldview or outlook. I grabbed this quote from The Tale of Two Cities. As you can see, it was the best of times, the worst of times. In a sense, that is the day of anatheism. That's the way some people feel about today's world, that ambivalence. Paul began to talk about this idea of suffering and how suffering is sort of the nexus of religion. Sorry, something happened to my slideshow as I put it onto another system. Religion, ethics, and science. And I think he is showing that suffering is the nexus or the cauldron that brings all these issues together, that gets people into discussing these important issues. So in a sense, he's reconnecting these culture spheres. So here's a quote from him. What can I not doubt? The reality of suffering. It brooks no arguments. Nihilists cannot undermine it with skepticism. Totalitarians cannot banish it. Cynics cannot escape from its reality. Suffering is real, and the artful infliction of suffering on another for its own sake is wrong. This became the cornerstone of my belief. The other thing that I think is key with Peterson is that he's connecting with the existential struggle, the existential crisis of millennials. We began to talk about this at the conference yesterday in one of our summit sessions. I thought that we were just beginning to capture some things. The lack of moral grounding, the problem of entitlement that crashes into the real world where life is hard, the lack of meaningful story, narrative, etc. One of our participants here, I see at the back, has a brilliant thing about finding Shakespeare. He's really connecting with youth in London and New York City, and it's through this kind of recovery of story and narrative. Then there's the wounded masculine soul, where young men are really struggling with their identity. The addiction to technology, easy access entertainment. So there's a sense among millennials, life is quick and life is free, and it happens very fast. And there's a tremendous sense of impatience, tremendous sense of attention deficit. Then nihilism caused by scientism, radical individualism, and late capitalist hyper-consumerism. That's a lot of words, but basically Notre Dame's Christian Smith, in his book Souls in Transition, sort of captures the nihilism as you see in those words. Workaholism and performance anxiety from the lack of strong moral identity. There is a real sense among millennials that without the moral interlocutors, without a proper moral discourse, then they are settling for performance. Performance is driving their identity. So thus, the corporation loves that. They love that the millennials will knuckle down and perform them on a quantitative level. So it takes away the qualitative dimension of things. And so this leads to disorientation, self-loathing, cynicism, anger, and resentment. And Peterson seems to get that in spades. He seems to really understand some of those deep existential struggles. So what he does, his genius, if we're trying to get the kind of hermeneutical key, I want to turn in Peterson is the key of putting the individual at the epicenter. And so it's not the selfish, entitled, narcissistic individual who is indifferent to social demands and the common good, not the corrupt, toxic individual who is in danger, a danger to self and society, easily manipulated, pulled into tribalism, who do we hate today, or ideology, utopian visions of the far right and far left. It is this individual. The alert, honest, courageous, articulate, and responsible individual, that's the hope for society. Pay attention, wake up to reality, be intelligent and articulate, be reasonable, examine your axioms, be responsible, which involves sacrifice and suffering for the other. It's an individualism that is engaged with and committed to a natural and moral reality. It's committed to telling the truth and inspiring to the good. This is from Rule 7 and Rule 8. The authentic individual. That's the individual who's willing to bear the burden of their existence. It's a phrase he uses quite a bit. It's the individual that, I guess you could say, it's a kind of stoic virtue, stoic set of virtues. It's, courage, self-management, prudence, and justice. So this is the beginning, this is the root of, this is his solution to moral agency, to recovering a sense of self, a strong sense of inner self. Again, I'm sorry, but we moved from Macintosh to PC, so so what I want to say is that given Kierkegaard's 3 stages of life, Peterson basically moves from the aesthetic to the ethical. So he wants the young person who's into style and body and cars and all that sort of thing and fun to move to become a responsible citizen. So I want to bring him in dialogue with Charles Taylor and the whole concept of agape love, and I think that's an important thing. So I think they would make great interlocutors. I've tried to encourage that through my dialogue on Facebook with those Christians who are following Jordan Peterson. So Peterson's project is largely working at the level of the ethical, bringing the hedonic aesthetic individual into the ethical stage. So he's encouraging people to choose meaning rather than expedience, to take care of yourself, etc. Taylor, on the other hand, is really encouraging this move towards a higher level of transcendence. So what you would call, Peterson is offering what Calvin Schrag calls weak transcendence. Taylor is working on moving up to the religious, so moving through the 3 stages of Kierkegaard's stages of development. Okay. So this move would actually push Peterson into a larger moral horizon, a larger universe, a larger social imaginary. He may feel uncomfortable with this strong transcendence, but I think ultimately the self of the young person that he's encouraging would be more resilient. The moral agency would be stronger, longer term results would occur. I think of Angela Duckworth's grit idea. So it also addresses the angst of millennials at the level of a crisis of affirmation. That is where people are torn between self-hatred or self-loathing and self-lobotomy, or the body of, the death of the moral self, or the death of ethics. So both men, at the end of the day, they have a hierarchy of values, which is significant. Basically, Peterson gets his hierarchy of values from Jung, and he puts sacrifice at the top. That's the hypergood. And Taylor has the hierarchy of where agape love is at the top. Okay, in terms of the sources of the moral self, Peterson, as an existential humanist, sees the source of the good as largely within the courageous individual. He also suggests consulting the myth of poetic stories. So he gets into the Bible and teaching the Bible series, where he sees that people can discover important things about themselves, about their identity, from looking into these biblical stories. Okay, we'll keep going here. So what I'm thinking is that Peterson has actually imploded the religious into the ethical. I'm not quite sure he has a full kind of transcendence. So I think what we see in Peterson is that cut of the culture movement as the ethical. So that's important to see, and to see why he resists sometimes the push to the transcendent, the higher transcendent. Peterson also has some challenges to Christians. He's saying, don't let justification by faith remove responsibility from you taking care of people in the world, taking your place in the larger frame of things. Sometimes he uses Nietzsche as a foil for that sort of thing. Respect the power of your biblical heroes, and especially the excellent example of the sacrifice of Christ. So he's trying to encourage Christians to take their Bible more seriously. Don't gloss over existential concerns. There is much wisdom to be gained from wrestling with suffering and tragedy and your personal angst. So Christian, you have as much work to do on your character as anybody else. And finally, respect the power of the mythopoetic in the Bible to capture who you really are. Okay. Taylor's final push here is on strong transcendence. So his idea with strong transcendence is as per the crisis of affirmation, self-hatred versus spiritual and moral lobotomy, Taylor hopes for a participation within the divine that returns us to the world in such a way that we are able to fully embrace our deepest spiritual aspirations and fully to affirm the world, others, and ourselves without spiritual mutilation and without simply denying the reality of suffering and evil. He sees this a miraculous transformation indeed. We won't click on that reference, but there's a... Taylor believes that this understanding of strong transcendence is critical to one's best and most robust account of the moral world. My contention is that Peterson is resisting that strong transcendence to the detriment of his project. So we can debate that. Okay. Peterson has an existential leap of faith. He's willing to say faith is the realization that tragic irrationalities of life must be countered by an equally irrational commitment to the essential goodness of being, but he shies away from the engagement with the goodness of a personal God. Peterson may be working against himself at that point. So there is a sense in which he picks up on Kierkegaard. Okay, yeah, thank you. We're just going to finish up here quickly. But he doesn't go far enough. He doesn't go far enough with Kierkegaard. He may also be working this through for himself. People who know him closely actually say that, as he did this biblical series, he did it in a lecture hall in Toronto, but also put it on YouTube. It went viral. He was working through his understanding of God and understanding of belief, understanding of important issues. So we'll have to give him the benefit of the doubt on that. There's some theological cautions about Peterson, and with this I'll close. He's a bit weak on grace, which is a fundamental Christian assumption. He's very much about pulling yourself together, get your life together. Stoic virtue is not quite Christian virtue, and this personal or self-salvation by the individual is not generally accepted as a Christian teaching. A little more on the Gnostic or you might say Pelagian side of things. And Kierkegaard would come back to Peterson and say that self-dependence, you're encouraging self-dependence with the very real possibility of ending up in the trap of despair. And that's important to listen to. So we want to move Peterson from there to somebody like Paul Ricoeur. Somebody's been talking about Ricoeur this week. And it's oneself as another, seeing it as part of a community. Okay, I'll just finish up there. There is a sense in which he is a bit one-sided in his appropriation of Carl Jung, and he's a bit one-sided in his appropriation of Friedrich Nietzsche. So we can talk about that. I think he's not what you call critically engaged, fully critically engaged with either Jung, so he's Jungian all the way down, in terms of interpretation. And he uses Nietzsche as a foil, but he doesn't really fully grasp the tensions in Nietzsche. Okay, there's some suggested reading, and we have to give it over to Paul.
Thank you, my friend. I changed in the slide. This morning, earlier, I went to Dr. Young, Huang, Dr. Jack Huang. I went to his symposium on OMAC. OMAC means observing, memory, and meaning, appreciating kindness and beauty. I just pick it up somewhere. Something like that, okay? Observing, memory, and meaning, and appreciating kindness and beauty. Now, that OMAC principle is followed by millions of people in Taiwan and around the world. Now, Peterson's 12 rules, less follower, but thousands of people have written him saying that your book changed my life. Amazing thing is that there's so much similarity, and you watch me, okay? Sorry is about. That's the main point. Now, if you tell people, examine yourself, what? That's ancient. Socrates, examine yourself. No, they're ancient. You say, find yourself. That's so 60s, Beatles. Go to India to find yourself. That is 21st century. Sorry is about. You're a mess. You're all messed up. You're lost. Sorry is about. Life is complicated. You are complicated. To listen. He's able to communicate and connect with people. Okay? The whole book is about how the soul is about. Okay? Life is suffering. Communism failed. Don't get me politics. Ruben, stand up straight. You put the shoulder back. Okay? My personal trainer, my first lesson, I hire a personal trainer. The first lesson I say, stand up straight, put the shoulder back. Good advice. Okay? The trouble is that he doesn't practice himself. Let's walk like this. Okay. You know why? You want to stand up straight? But here's his logic. You just sort out yourself where you are in the dominance hierarchy. You discover most of you are at the bottom. The bottom is not a good place to be. You know, bottom is miserable. Your brain, your brain chemistry is messed up. Your mood is messed up. It's a terrible place. It's a terrible place to be at the bottom of the hierarchy. Even for lobsters, 2 million years old, there's hierarchy. Who is the top lobster? Those guys fight, stand up and fight. Good guys finish last. If you don't have, not able to fight, you end at the bottom. That's terrible, right? So therefore, he said, no, one day he was given to talk to Harvard, Harvard's student. Yeah. You know why you want to walk like this? You know why? You spread yourself out, occupy more space. And these people give you the benefit of the doubt. You might be a top lobster or top dog. Are you impressed? Don't mess around with me. I'm a top dog. If you act that way, that's silly, right? That reminds me of Breaking Bad. Do you remember Breaking Bad? Remember this Heisman, what's his name? Huh? Heisenberg, this big guy, talked to little Jesse. Jesse was afraid of talking to these drug dealers who are killers. He said, Jesse, you got bluefish, no? You're small, but you got bluefish. When it blew up, nobody dare around to fuck around with. Nobody dare to fuck around with the bluefish. You are. That's I quote the TV, not my language. Okay? I'm sorry. So Jesse not quite believe it. Now, if you blow yourself up, you're phony. You're phony, right? People can see through you. You pretend to a big shot to kill you, right? I'm Bruce Lee. Try me. One punch, I'm done. So my interpretation is different. I mean, he mentioned that too, but he didn't elaborate. My interpretation is that he's actually talking about have the courage to face this dark world. The world is full of evil, full of injustice, full of suffering. You accept your place in the world. You accept it with courage. In fact, this is the first step for recovery. This is the first step before improvement, for self-help. The first step is that I'm done. I'm terrible. I'm in a terrible position. That will give me motivation to say, I want to get out of hell and move up. Got that? First point. I'm in hell. And I don't want to be here. So therefore, I want to go to heaven. How? Okay, put the rules now, right? You follow me, okay? Oh, by the way, he got to the top. He's laughing out his way to the bank. He's a millionaire and a multi-millionaire. Because he knows how to fight. Anybody want to take him on? I just challenge Amy to take him on. The second rule, treat yourself like somebody you are responsible for helping. What does that mean? You remember the golden rule? You remember this? The Bible? Have you ever read the Bible? So his rule is an inversion of the golden rule. He's very clever. He inverts the golden rule. Why? Because you are not capable of loving your neighbor until you learn to love yourself. Get the idea now? You're not capable of loving others if you hate yourself. You can't relate to people if you can't relate to yourself. Okay. But why don't you love yourself? Why do you sabotage? Why do you feel guilty, feel ashamed, feel like a failure, feel like a broken piece, broken vessel, feel useless, helpless? Why? You need to sort out again. You need to sort out the condition and causes for your misery. Okay? The first awareness that you're broken. Now, everything exists in polarity. So if you're something bad, then you must be something good. You know why you feel ashamed? You know why you feel guilty? Because you missed the mark. You violate your conscience. You violate the goodness in you. You got an idea now? You feel ashamed, you feel guilty because you're born good. You're born with God's image. You're born with Buddha nature. You violate the standard. So now, start to change now. You start to reorient yourself from being in hell, move on in hell. Now you re-examine why you got in trouble. Why you're in hell? Because you violate the goodness, the standard of goodness, the standard of kindness, the standard of nobility. You violate your conscience, you violate God's rule. The second rule said you need to reorient from hell to heaven. That idea now? That means what? You need to aim high. Aim at your best possible self you can think of and conceive. Your best possible self. I want to be the best person I want to be. Okay? And then you gradually improve. Now comes number 3 now. So we have start with hell. Rule 2, oriented to heaven. Rule 3, tell you how to get there. Okay? Rule 3 now. It's all very systematic, okay? Okay. So rule 2 is talk about rule 3. Now how to get there? Right? Rule 3, you better drop all the toxic relationship you're in. You keep in hell. Why you're in hell? Because you're bad company. Drug dealers, alcoholics, cheaters, slackers, good for nothingness. That's that word. Good for nothingers. Sounds good. You have too many bad friends. You're not obligated to associate with people who does the work no good, who do you no good. Drop them. You need to be with good people. You have to move forward. I have a client. The first thing I say, hey, drop your drinking buddies. They'll bring you down. Don't associate with them. Okay? You're not obligated to keep those losers, those bad, toxic people. For your family or whatever, stay away from them. They poison you. They drag you down. Instead, make friends with people or marry people who care for you, want you build you up. The psychology research showing that we all need a supportive network, right? That's what it means. Without a supportive network, we don't go very far, right? Now, rule 4 now. The first one, from hell to heaven, drop your bad company. Make friends with church people or Buddhist believers. Make friends with good people, with achievers. That one. Don't compare yourself to others. You know why? If you compare yourself, the hierarchy, remember the hierarchy? The dominant hierarchy, you'll be depressed. You'll full of resentment. How come John Peterson make millions of dollars? Poor me, my book used to sell more than his book. My citation is higher than his citation. And now he's more famous than I am. Why? It's not fair. So you will compare with other people. You'll be full of resentment. You'll be depressed. So he said, now, you're going to heaven, aim at heaven. Aim at your highest good. I mean, in classic philosophy, that means the idea of truth, beauty, and goodness, right? In Christian terminology, aim at God. In Buddhist, aim at Buddhist ideal. Aim high. And then set realistic goals. Realistic goals. But aim high, set achievable goals. Now you make commitment to make continuous improvement day by day. I'm better than yesterday. I'm better than yesterday. I'm better than yesterday. Hard, but don't stop. It's an uphill battle, but you're getting somewhere. As long as you keep an eye on the ideal, that will inspire you. That will give you a vision, give you a motivation. It's high ideal that lift you up. Transcendental ideal, right? Aim at a transcendental idea. High up. That's how you're going to happen. Right? And don't listen to the past voices. Shout at. All the voices tell you you're no good, you're a failure. Don't listen to that. You keep an eye on the. So he said, you improve yourself, Bucko. You think you're a smart ally, you think know everything. You better improve yourself. Grow up. Grow up. Okay? How do you grow up? Try some discipline day by day. And try some effort. Work as hard as you possibly be and see what you can achieve. Most of you guys do not work as hard as I do. I'm an old man. I still work hard to improve myself. You ask my wife. Long hours. Study, writing. I work as hard as I can. And I get somewhere. You don't work, you get nowhere. So try to succeed, try to be good, try to be improved morally, you need to aim high and work hard. Consistently, not, I don't feel like, doesn't matter how you feel. Discipline. Without discipline, you don't get anywhere. Right? Yoga, anything. No discipline, you don't get anywhere. Okay, we'll move on. No fun. Oh, now children. Any parents here? Any parents here? So are children spoiled? Do you spoil your children? Many parents spoil children. He's saying that the worst thing you can do for children to spoil them, you know why? You stifle their growth. In fact, he said, the most important thing is to develop the character, to learn self-control their desire, to abide by the basic rules, and develop the character. So I'm not doing the parenting class, I'm not talking anymore. The whole idea, you're responsible to make sure your children grow up to be a good person, with character. Okay, water. 6. Oh, better. Well, I must my time. 6. Clean my room. Don't try to change the world. Clean my room is a good thing to start. Start something. Start bringing some order to your house, to your life. Your life all messed up because you have no discipline, no order. Okay, I'll finish in 10 minutes. Don't worry. I give myself this. Do you clean your bed? Do you make your bed? Do you clean your room? But start somewhere. Start from some habit. Doing exercise. You do exercise every day. That's a good start, right? Do exercise every day. Start something. Train your discipline. 7. Pursue what's meaningful. Now, that's my baby. That's my bag. I can speak for whole 2 hours. Basically, expediency and meaning. Expediency means what? Means cater to the devil. You to the devil. You do not know what it will lead you to. You know, little step, get you deeper and deeper into trouble. You choose expediency. Experience doesn't require any courage or faith of anything. Just a temporary gain. When you choose expediency, your life will be in trouble eventually. Get deeper in hell. Instead, choose a meaning. We already talk about certain high, strive. There's one more element. Pick up your cross and follow. Willingly, voluntarily, pick the heaviest burden that you can find and carry it. That's meaning. Not because you're happy, but find the biggest challenge. Pick up a cross and carry it daily. That's meaning. To sacrifice your today for a better tomorrow. If you don't carry the cross, you don't get up there. Also, you will learn the wisdom of balancing between chaos and order to create a dynamic balance. Remember? Wong, right? A dynamic balance. That requires wisdom. One foot in order, secure in God's love, secure in knowing who I am, and knowing what I believe. Another hand, another foot in chaos, my imagination, my vision. I'm daring to try new things. That's how I grow. Order, chaos. You balance the yin yang, order and chaos. That's how you grow. That's how you get there. It's never always smooth. That's why positive psychology is silly, because always positive. But to get to the positive, you have to always balance bad and good, yin and yang. Okay? Okay, next one, fast. Fast. Oh, number 8, tell the truth. Okay? Don't lie. Do you lie today? Do you lie today? No, you lied. Okay. Oh, fair enough. Quite fast. Okay. Speak the truth. The Buddha's teaching. Test yourself, okay? When you say something, is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? Don't say anything until you pass this test. Okay, next. 9. Assume. Try to listen. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Often you cannot hear the other side. You will hear enough to refute. But listening requires humility. I learned it from you. Now, here's the exercise challenge. Try to listen carefully and jot down what you have learned about yourself, about your faults, okay? Everybody needs to improve, right? You learn something, what area you need to improve, okay? Next, 10. Be precise in your speech. What's wrong with this world is that he has the same problem. So this he violated this rule big time. He violated this rule, he's in trouble. Do not use language to manipulate people. Okay? Do not use big words, confuse people, manipulate people, and bend the world to your need. Learn to articulate your belief, your values, your needs. Point between husband and wife. Try to articulate and say it in precise terms. Okay? Next. I'm fast, eh? Confucius said that make them simple, right? Confucius teaching as well. Keep them simple. 10. We see, it's still 10, 11. Don't bother children. Now that is the most controversial, this type of gender, okay? But basic thing is that boys are in trouble. Boys are behind school, behind university. White males can't get jobs. When in my days, they advertise, women are minority only. White men need not apply. In my days, I don't know about now. Male friends have no job. So our males are in trouble. So basically saying that either a man who died in a battlefield, either a man who faced danger, either a man who do the difficult task. So let's value the goodness in masculinity. Here's a man, good man, eh? Try to appreciate. No one wants to marry a mommy's baby. Do you want to marry a mommy's baby? Do you? Nobody wants to. I have a survey. Number 1, no mommy's baby, because no spine, no courage, cannot be dependent on, right? So try to bring up strong men. They make good husbands. They make good workers. Okay, number last. Forget it. Number last. Pet a cat. You know what it is? Oh man, appreciate kindness and beauty. When I see a cat, the cat will die. 12 years old, 3 years old, poor cat, cold winter, no place to go. When you see the world is full of suffering, then you better show kindness, compassion to animals, to your children, to all people. Okay, Jordan, you better remember that, okay? Show kindness to people. Listen to me, think of me, okay? Show kindness to people. That's how I make the world a better place. Thank you.